This is Robert Forsch with The Truth. I'm on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, library, and I'll be going on more as I'm able. Wanted to cover a topic that I'm pursuing. I've been pursuing healthy nutrition for a long time. When I was a teenager, I raced professional level motocross. It requires a tremendous amount of nutrition, dedication, exercise, all of that. With that kind of as a backdrop to what I'm about to say, I'm looking for input, if you have some, to help me out with this. I've done quite a bit of investigation over a lifetime. When I was in school, high school and grade school, I would read dictionaries and encyclopedias to learn. Then when I got the internet, I've been studying, wanting to know how things work. I would watch documentaries and, of course, plenty of space fantasy. And that's part of what's going on in the world today. When we are introducing the reality of the space fantasy that's being perpetrated by artificial intelligence, it actually is destroying the dreams of some people to a certain extent, because their life is based, or much of their world perspective is based on a false reality, one that involves space travel to Mars, travel to other planets, and all of that. And as many of us know, that's pretty much a fantasy, because we've got a firmament up above us that separates the waters from above from these waters below down here. So the physics and properties of water are very important as I consider and bring about what I'm going to talk about here. If you think about a professional level athlete, whether it's tennis, football, soccer, baseball, any of the sports, and requires a lot of dedication and nutrition and exercise, mental acuity, and all of that as well. And so food for thought will be one of the hashtags in here. Food for thought is not just nutrition, physical nutrition, it's also intellectual nutrition. And I believe a high percentage of truth should be an effort to procure. Not only to find it, to procure it, but to believe it. How will you believe the truth? Therein lies the challenge, because we're swimming in a sea of deception. How will you recognize the truth when it's right in front of you? Okay, so when the opposite of an athlete, let's say a professional athlete, would be somebody that's in a coma, somebody that's asleep for a long time. They may have had a head injury, some kind of a traumatic experience, and they may show some physiological function. Sometimes they will keep life support for them. Sometimes they can breathe on their own. But one of the points that I'm wanting to illustrate is that there will be a certain amount of either brain function enough to help their involuntary function, like breathing and all that, operate. Sometimes they need assistance with even that. So they're typically on a feeding tube, liquid nutrition. What's in that? That would be one of my questions. So then there's people in our world, we've seen them, I've seen them, with a tremendous amount of calorie intake. They've got an appetite. And sometimes that appetite is for junk food, sugar. Cancer loves sugar, just so you know. So when my mother, right before she died from cancer, said, "Bobby, if the cancer doesn't get you the treatment, well," oh my gosh, I think my camera's in the wrong orientation. that's not good. I think so. I think it is. I think I'm going to probably redo this. Well, I'm going to give it some thought. See what I'm going to do with that. My camera is turned to the side, my iPhone Pro Max. I think I'm gonna redo it. Yeah, the sun will appear soon. I'm gonna re-cue this and see how it looks.